Hello, everybody. Welcome to a belated episode 3 of the Epic Summer of Makelung's 2025. I'm Tina from Aweneth Yarn and Fiber. It is 1:43 in the morning on Monday, June 16th, and so I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. I'm tired, I don't have show notes, so I'm just going to try to remember everything, show everything off, just knock it all out real quick. Lickety split. Okay, so the reason this is delayed is because I got kidnapped by Albanians last night. I'm not kidding, I did. I mean, it was fun. We had a blast, but I, you know, things happen. You just. So I went out for Knit in Public Day, and I was working on my new socks. I'm using Don't Call Me Around Here No More, and I'm striping it with red and blue. And on the way home from the coffee shop, I was walking past the other coffee shop, and it just so happened that a friend of mine was out there. And I wasn't going to say hi. At first, I wasn't even sure it was him. I was like peering across the street. I'm like, is that really him? And then I hear his voice, and I'm like, yeah, that's really him. And I just went to say hi for 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. And then I left 4 hours later. Anyway, it happens. What are you going to do? So, once again, new socks. I would also like to show off my shirt, which, that's my logo. I designed that logo myself. I'm very proud of it. You can buy your own shirt in the shop in many colors. Okay, so you saw the socks. Summer with Joan sweater. Oh, by the way, I should also point out, the orange yarn I'm using for those socks is only 25 grams, so it doesn't even count as a whole entry. But as I've mentioned previously, I will be doing an entire sweater in orange. So the 25 grams of that combined with however many grams. I hate using grams. I'm sorry. That's just so British. But it's a good thing I bought that stupid food scale a while back. Anyway, got my Summer of Joan sweater here. Summer of Joan. No, Knit with Joan. Summer of Murder, and then Knit with Joan. Okay, this is Knit with Joan. Knit with Joan is getting longer. It's looking fantastic. I think I'm going to knit longer than the pattern recommends just because I'm fat, so I like to have something to cover up my belly. Yeah, so I think like I have a couple more inches to go. And then I'll start the ribbing. And then I'll do the sleeves. So, and then that'll be done. Whatever. It's really pretty. I like it a lot. I really like the way it's coming out. It's not very conventional. I know the way things kind of go into each other, but I like it a lot. So on to finished socks. I have finished socks over here. Summer on the Lanai socks. These are completely finished now. I really, really love the way the legs came out. Got my little heels there. The ends are not woven in, but we don't need to talk about that. Nobody said you had to weave the ends in on your projects. I also would like to note, for anybody interested, tonight I just did a prototype of a full-size skein of the mini that I used here. So you can see I used it in the cuff too. It's going to be available as a full-size colorway soon for anybody who is interested. And now on to the Summer of Murder sweater. So let me tell you a little story about this Summer of Murder sweater. This is progressing nicely too. I'm going to be doing more increases than the pattern calls for because I'm a busty gal, so I like to have like a little extra room up there, and also because my gauge is smaller than what the pattern calls for, which I didn't know at first, but I just thought to myself, you know what, let me just do like, you're supposed to do 31 increases for the size that I picked in the pattern. And I thought to myself, let me just do 40. Let me do 40 just to, give it a little extra room. And then when I actually did the knitting math, it turns out and I did knitting math. I know this is like those words just came out of my mouth and they're true. That's freaking wild. But I did the knitting math, and it turns out that to make up for the gauge, I should in fact do 40 stitches. I mean 40 increases. So fantastic. Okay. I was going to do it anyway. It's really pretty. I like it a lot. It's very Lisa Frank. However, you know who else really likes sparkly? Is Miss Groucho. And you know who was really ticked off yesterday that I was snuggling with her sister instead of her? Groucho. So while I was in the bedroom, she was out here, knocked the box over, decided to chew through 3 of the strands coming out of this sweater, 2 of them being sparkly because she likes sparkly stuff. And I'm going to put her address on the screen if you would like to send her fan mail, because she's in the proverbial doghouse. And she knew she screwed up, because when I came out of the bedroom, she was on her cat tree and she wouldn't even look at me. She was like, she just wouldn't even turn around and look at me. So now I have to keep that high up, because otherwise she's going to do it again. She will not learn how, she's not remorseful. She's a cat. She has no repentance. Anyway, I think that's it. Right? Showed you my orange socks, showed you my finished socks, and I showed you both sweaters. So in non-make-along related news, I have a solid colorway coming out this week. I think it's solid. It might be tonal when all is said and done. Might be a semi-solid. I haven't really examined it. It'll be a subtle semi-solid. Let's put it that way. Because it's pretty rare that you can get like a really good solid unless you go super saturated, but it's pretty saturated. It's a colorway I'm calling Done and Dusted, and it's a beautiful, what the Brits would call petrol blue. I'm also releasing, okay, so tomorrow, well, today, by the time you're watching this, today, whatever, my next Makeover Monday, I rehold a yarn called Aliens, which hasn't been in the shop for a while. But it was one of the very first ones I came out with. And this was before I really knew how to speckle, and before I really understood my colors and their saturations and their quirks and this, that, and the other thing. So I redid it, and I don't think I'm going to call it Aliens anymore. I'm going to sleep on the name. We'll see what happens tomorrow. The yarn formerly known as Aliens, it'll be something else. Because it doesn't remind me of Aliens, and I don't know that it ever did, and I don't know why. I'm sure there was a story why I called it Aliens, but I would have developed it back in like 2019. So 6 years ago? Who was I 6 years ago? What was I doing 6 years ago? I must have come home from dog walking one night, was exhausted, and was like, oh, Aliens made me do it. So, whatever. So that'll be tomorrow's Makeover Monday. And then I have my Wildcard Wednesday yarn coming out, which, spoiler alert, the colors were interesting. It was 2 greens and an orange, and surprisingly, I don't hate it. Some of you might even like it. And I'm thinking about tweaking it and maybe turning it into like a pumpkin patch inspired colorway. It might be fun for that. I think I could make that work. So that's something to look forward to on Wednesday. And then Friday, I will be back to my regular schedule. Unless we get bombed by Iran, or Groucho eats all of my yarn, or I get kidnapped by Albanians again. You never know what's going to happen around here. We like to have fun around here. Getting nuked probably isn't fun, but anyway. Oh, if you don't laugh, you cry. So, yeah, it seems like I have like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing going on now, so that's pretty cool, I guess. I will try to be on time on Friday. I don't foresee why I would not be on schedule on Friday. But if I'm going to be off, if I'm going to be tardy, I will let you know. So I think that's all we have for tonight, and it is now 1:52 a.m., and If you can't tell, I'm probably about to pass out like right now where I sit, so I'm going to edit this and get this up. And thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.